Hey, it's Chrissy and Amanda.
Two girls from Saskatchewan, Canada, living the Reiki life while working the 9 to 5.
Hey everyone, welcome in. This is episode 65, and you're here with myself, Amanda, and my co-partner, Christy here. And we have a really fun episode today for you. This is going to be the episode of nothing. So if you have been with us for a while, you know that we reference Seinfeld, and this is going to be us shooting the shit and just talking about things Reiki, of course, things that have been going on in the Reiki community, what's been kind of going on with us, and some really interesting just topics, kind of just like grab a tea, grab a coffee, and let's just have some real conversation. And we would love to know your input on anything that we've talked about today on our Instagram. Hit us up, send us a message. We love receiving them. And of course, join our Reiki circle too. That's going to be coming up on the 18th. So you have a few days still to sign up if you're listening to this on time. So we'd love to know your feedback and what your personal experiences are with anything that we've talked about today. So Christy, just how's it going? Hello.
Yes, hello. Yeah, we were just having so many good conversations about Reiki and the evolution of Reiki. And it's just like, we should have this conversation live. And we should share it with the community, because I feel like that we have a lot of views and and our experience. And I just love having an open conversation about things, just talking it out and just seeing what flows and what comes through. And I think that's just a good thing, because we're both very open-minded. We're never set in certain ways, and we like to explore different things. And when I was preparing for this episode, I was thinking, with the podcast, you are getting a snapshot of where we are in our journey at this exact time. And as I move through my journey, I feel like things change, my beliefs change, my experiences change. So I know when I listen to other people's podcasts, I'm like, well, she said that before, but now she's saying this. So it's what changed? But it's I feel like that's part of the journey. I know one of my teachers a while ago, she said it's okay to change. She thought that she could cross people over, and then all of a sudden her belief changed that she didn't want to do that anymore. And it's just as we go through this, it's okay to change the way you do things. Nothing is ever set in stone. I feel like the journey is very fluid. And, when you believe in one thing, it's not the be all end all. Just be open to change, I guess, is what the message that was coming through the last couple days.
Yeah. And of course, the more we evolve as well, the more our beliefs and right, the things that we want to do and hold on to, they evolve too. So Always a good thing. Also, on a couple side notes, I'm going to be trying to play with my microphone setting. So the quality of my microphone has always been an issue for us. So hopefully we can get this figured out. If anyone has a Yeti out there and has some advice for me from my microphone, I'm changing with my gain. So little things like that we'll kind of talk about. Also, in me being pregnant and doing Reiki, I want to talk about that today too. So I think maybe people are interested in that. So we're not going to do our own personal updates, because it's pretty much going to be the episode of kind of that. But I am going to talk about astrology that is coming in. So actually, Christy, we hold our Reiki circle on the new moon in Capricorn on January 18th. I know. So the new moon in Capricorn really encourages that goal setting, right? That structure, ambition, and discipline. Capricorn is such a grounded energy. So it's an earth sign, and it's also the devil card in tarot. So it's a really strong point for clarifying long-term plans, and particularly around your career, your public, your presence, and all that responsibility. So really good time to kind of go along with that energy of that new year and figure out those goals and figure out what you want to really be disciplined in this year. And the devil card too is kind of, about habits, even ones that can be a little bit more on the addicting side, and just kind of figuring out, do those habits serve me, or is it maybe time to switch or pivot into new ones? So we can kind of keep those things in mind with the new moon coming up on the Sunday of January 18th.
Okay, that's interesting. I love when you refer the astrological sign to the tarot card, because then I can see some similarities and things start to make sense about Capricorn and the devil card. And because I know a lot of Capricorns, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that energy. It just feels like kind of a kick in the pants, You had January to kind of sit with things and, get clarity on maybe what you wanted to bring to this year. And now it's kind of like, okay, now it's go time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good. So one of the major things that kind of happened in December with me, and that really kind of prompted this episode, was I got an email from the Canadian Reiki Association. So I decided to join the Reiki Association when I became a master. I'm only listed on there as a practitioner, not a teacher. And I wanted to do that to be a part of a community and kind of get like updates and things like that on what's going on with Reiki and things like that. So I got kind of an interesting email, and they were talking about one of a really key player in Reiki. His name is William Lee Rand. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's a really big deal in the States. He's a really well-known practitioner and teacher, and he's developed courses like Karuna Reiki and the Holy Fire Reiki system. And he has been doing Reiki since the early 80s. Like, this guy is so committed, and he's written a lot of books. He's uncovered a lot of like truths behind the Macau Usui story. So I have a lot of respect for this guy. Christy's found books from him too, and done a dive on him as well. We'll talk about that after. But anyways, I got an email from the Reiki Association asking about the thoughts on kind of some of the stuff that he was doing with allowing people to take the masters with Holy Fire. If they've been attuned to Usui 1 and 2, they can just go and take the masters. Anyways, the email didn't really align with me. I'm just going to be completely honest. It just felt like it was kind of snide. And it felt like they were kind of critiquing kind of what he was doing. And, I'm all for about like tradition and honoring where we've come from. But I think there is a time where we need to pivot and we need to go with, evolving, like we talked about. So I found that the email was really kind of unalignment with me. Does that make sense? And after doing more like research on other Reiki associations, because there's so many out there that you can join. There's like the International Reiki Association, and I believe the lady, was it Lisa Campion? Do you know Christy? She created that website. I should have fact checked this. Sorry, guys. And then William Lee Rand also has his own Reiki association. And there's like a lot of other communities out there that are just kind of more with the times, that actually feel just a little bit better towards what I am doing with my own Reiki practice and with teaching and things like that. So I made the kind of decision that I don't think I'm going to renew my membership with the Canadian Reiki Association, and I'm going to join just another one that I just feel more on board with. And the benefits of joining these Reiki associations is that they can help you with insurance. They can help you with support or being listed as a practitioner or finding other people in your area. My master really not stressed, but like promoted joining the Canadian Reiki Association. And I haven't really found that I've gotten any personal benefit of it yet. A lot of my clients here in Canada, they're not able to claim it on their benefits or anything, which was another big reason I wanted to join it. So I think for now, I'm just going to let my membership lapse. I noticed that when I tried to even search my teacher, she must not have renewed her membership either. I'm not too sure what her position was on anything, but that's neither here nor there. And I decided that I'm just going to kind of go with something a little bit more 2026 and something that just fits me better. My experience wasn't bad by any means. It's just something that I feel like is the right move now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know like you and we talked about this when it came up, and I felt the same way. And when we look at Reiki is about 100 years old. And I feel like we are watching it evolve in like real time. And of course, we want to honor where Reiki has come from, but I feel like we should also be open to where it's going. Because, like, things aren't the same as they were 100 years ago. Like, things change, things evolve. And, I was even thinking about, like, what else has changed and evolved and branched off, and yoga came to mind. Like, yoga is like thousands of years old. And, when it was brought to the West, a lot of things changed, and they branched off into different types of yoga, like Kundalini yoga and all these other different types of yoga. But I feel like if you honor and know where something was started, then I feel like it is okay to keep evolving. Like, you can't just take something and not honor the roots of it. I'm very much about knowing why something started and how it started, and then I go from there. And I feel like when you do learn Reiki, it is important to learn that. And when I took my level 1 Usui, I remember there was just one page in the manual that just talked about the founder of Reiki, and then that was it. It was never mentioned ever again. And I guess it just depends on the teaching style, and different teachers teach different things from their experiences. And when I was listening or doing my research, I was listening to different podcasts, and there's actually a lot of Reiki podcasts that have popped up over the last year, which I was really excited about, because that's why Amanda and I started this podcast, was because there wasn't a lot of information out there. And it's very interesting to see people's views on this. Like, I found one podcast where it was like, nope, you need to honor the lineage. You need to know where your teacher came from and how far away she or he is from, like the whole lineage, like web, right? Because she said, when you go to your Reiki master and and you ask them a question, if they don't know the answer, they're supposed to go to their master and then their master. So it's like a chain of command kind of thing, right? And then I went and found somebody completely on the other side where she was talking about, like, yes, honoring where it came from, but she completely is revamping the entire Reiki experience and teaching. So it's just, when you sit with it, just what feels good in your heart? What is in alignment with you? Do you want to go the traditional route, or do you want to learn something else? I think, like going back to the yoga, it's like some people really like yin yoga, where you're in restorative positions for 5 minutes, and then somebody else might really love the flow yoga, where you're doing all these sun salutations. And it just depends on who you are and what you want out of it. I don't believe there's a wrong or right way, but I also like to be in the middle, where I'm open to change and open to things evolving.
Yeah, and the one thing is, like, when you get deeper into something, there can be a political aspect that comes in, which I also don't love personally. Um, and I feel like that's kind of where this whole email was kind of stemming from, and it just put a bad taste in my mouth, because I thought, why are we like not lifting somebody up? And like, if they're doing their thing and it's working and people are resonating with it, like, why are we the ones to say that that's wrong? And I feel like, too, we'll talk a little bit more about William Lee Rand. I actually reached out to him to be on our podcast. That was a few months ago, but I think maybe he's too big time right now. But like, for our listeners, hold that faith. Maybe I'll try again. But I truly feel like he's not gimmicky or scammy. So I feel like if he is getting the download that he can evolve Reiki and reach more people, go deeper with the practice, then we should support that and think it's a good thing. Too, because at the end of the day, he's not hurting anyone and everything is laid out. So I feel like, okay, people know what they're getting into. It's not a surprise. There's no pyramid thing going on here. So that's just my own personal views on that. But yeah, it's interesting because I know Christy sent me a podcast about a woman who was totally disagreement with the Reiki attunement. She didn't think the attunement was a thing or something that should be done. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then Christy and I, of course, are talking about our own experiences with receiving attunements and how we've had heart-opening crying experiences with the attunement and shifts in our bodies. So we're like, I can't imagine not getting an attunement. I actually really look forward to them. And in the traditional sense, they actually encourage you to get many attunements, or they call them Rehu empowerments, as much as possible. So it's funny how one person's view, right? She doesn't think that that's necessary, but then we have our own experience. So we're like, and me teaching, I want to keep giving attunements because I really like them. But yeah, just another example of different people's views and what they're doing and making sure you align with them when you pick a person to be mentored through.
Yeah, yeah, and do your research on your Reiki master and make sure they align with you and your views. Like, don't go by, oh, she's the one in the community and it's just convenient. Do your research and just try and find someone that is aligned with you, because that relationship with the Reiki master, I feel, is very important. You should be able to go to them and ask them questions, not feel judged, and be able to really have that open dialogue between the two of you. I feel like that is very important. And there are some that are very rigid with their teachings and it's this way or that way. And if you're not a black and white person, you like to have discussions and, go into that gray area. I feel like going with a Reiki master that is more open-minded and, is open to things evolving and things changing. So I've had my experience with, I guess both of my Reiki masters have been, I'm thinking about this in real time. And they were both open, but rigid in their own ways, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit more about William Lee Rand for people who don't know who he is.
Yeah, when I was doing my research about him, I knew about the Holy Fire Reiki, but I didn't know about the Karuna Reiki. I didn't know that he was the founder of, or co-developed Karuna as well with his students in the mid 1990s. So it's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, I didn't realize how old it was either. Because that's 20 years. No, 30 years.
Yeah, I thought the Holy Fire came first and then Karuna. I didn't know that happened. So that was really interesting. And you know what else I found about him that was really interesting? I'm saying interesting like 500 times. Okay, fascinating. Okay, he's also an astrologer, a hypnotherapist, a past life regression therapist, and a certified practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming, which I'm not sure what that is, but I found that fascinating because that is kind of the route that you took, Amanda, with the hypnotherapy and the past life regression. Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny, hey? Mm-hmm. They do all really kind of play in together.
They do.
But yeah, and he is the publisher and editor-in-chief of the Reiki News magazine, and he has done so much research. So he's also the founder of the Center for Reiki Research. Like, he works with a lot of people with that kind of Japanese lineage that ties close to Mikao Usui about finding more correct information, because just like the game telephone, you tell a story and they tell a story and then things kind of get a little bit changed and switched around. And Mrs. Takata was really known when she brought Reiki to the West here that she wouldn't allow people to take notes in her class. So of course things are going to get a little distorted and a little switched around. Like, how many variations of the Han Shazi Shonan symbol have we all seen, right? Or even the master symbol, there's a couple variations. So just things like that. He's kind of like unraveling the truth, I guess, behind the Reiki. And you've come across some of his books. Christy's been deep diving into the library and finding the most funniest books about Reiki.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so, I love, sometimes a really old book is just a gem. And I know I shared the Spirit of Reiki book a couple episodes back because I was talking about the 17 hand positions that were in here. And when I looked at the authors, there's 3 authors, and William Lee Rand is actually one of the authors of this book. And yeah, some of his insights in this book are just, they're very grounded. And I just really like his view on things, like the bare minimum of Reiki teachings and what you should expect with a Reiki master. And it's such a good book because it's 3 different authors from 3 different views. And the other author is Walter Lubeck. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's got the 2 dots above the U. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But anyways, I found his book at the library, and this book has been like really loved. Like it is old. It was published in 94. And I was actually sending Amanda some of the illustrations in this book because I believe he is an artist as well, and they're a little I would say risque.
He's like, why are they naked?
Yeah, it was like showing the hand positions, but they're just, yeah, they're naked. And I was like, well, that's not how I do Reiki.
Yeah. It's so funny. I know. That does, yeah.
Like, yeah, I found that really interesting. But this was also a really good read. But you know me, I never read a book front to back. I flip through it. And I did do a deep dive on Walter. And he's a Reiki master, a spiritual teacher, an author, and healer. And he's from Germany. So he's got about 35 years under his belt. And I just really love his views on things. It's like, Reiki is like something you do, or sorry, it isn't something you do, it's something you live. So like it's his strong, like one of his strong perspectives is it's not limited to Japanese culture alone, right? It's a universal energy that flows through all of us, and it shouldn't be kept by anyone. And, it can be understood through many different spiritual languages as well. And when you open up to Reiki, it really opens you up to different things. Like we said, like the past life, the astrology, the crystals, it's just kind of a gateway into different things. And he also talks about like a non-dogmatic view of the Reiki symbols. And he says that like the symbols are tools for focus and consciousness, and they help certain qualities of energy, but they aren't the energy itself. So I thought that was interesting as well. So it's like you build a personal relationship with the symbols, and, you know, and that fear of doing them wrong, I feel like takes away from like you need to know the symbols, but let go of the fear of doing it wrong and just trust what you're doing. Do you have anything to share about the symbols?
Well, you know what? That Danielle Steele? No, that's a different author. Oh my God. Oh, that one author of Essential Reiki. She also talks about anytime she would be worried about messing up drawing a symbol, she just knew that it would get corrected when she, like, especially when she was doing the attunements, because you have to draw all the symbols when you're giving somebody attunements. And if she was ever worried she would like mess up or things like that, she always knew that it would be corrected. It's almost like the love and the essence of Reiki is going to know what you mean and is not going to like penalize you for one thing and have not the attunement work. So
Yep.
Yes, I love hearing the different views of different people around the world.
Yeah.
Because that's fascinating. And I agree with him about like nobody owns Reiki. Japan or, you know, the Japanese does not own Reiki, right? It's for all of us to have within us and use. Yeah.
Yeah. I really love his open-mindedness, and, you know, doing this for 35 years, like it was a different world back then. And another thing that I really like is direct experience over rigid hierarchy. So it's more about the practitioner's relationship with Reiki matters more than that Reiki title. And I love that, because I was thinking, you know, I'd rather go to a practitioner, say he or she has her Reiki level 2. They've been doing it for 2 years. They have 100 hours under their belt, compared to, say, a Reiki master that has that title, but maybe has 20 hours under her belt. So it's like don't get, clouded by that Reiki master title. I feel like experience speaks way louder than that title. And when I became a Reiki master, I never, I was proud of my accomplishment, but I wasn't ever like, oh, I'm a Reiki master, I know everything, I'm a master in this. I never thought that about myself.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely probably some ego part of me that loved having that title, to be honest.
Hey, that's okay. I like the honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny, but I also waited. I waited to take my master's. I know you did, like me and Christy, did our 1 and 2 together, but where was I at time?
You were
I might have been
pregnant, I think. Or just had Bo.
Just
yeah, because it was
had Bo,
August.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think I remember being like, it's not, I knew it didn't feel right that time for me. And then I waited probably 6 months, maybe till next spring. And then I got it. And then that just felt better. It just felt like I was more back in alignment with what I was doing and the focus there. But yeah, I remember going through that. And you're right about it doesn't matter. If somebody has so many hours and they've been doing it forever and you can tell they're just really in their flow and essence, that's the person you want to go to for sure. Yeah. As opposed to somebody that just has a title. And I know there's a lot of regulations with people too, taking 1, 2 and master's teachers all in a day. And then, where does that credibility come from? But we can't really control that. So, I mean, you kind of have to do your own research like we've talked about.
Yeah, that's so true. And something else that he said that I really love is Reiki isn't frozen in time. So he's back to acknowledging its historical roots and accepting that Reiki adapts as consciousness evolves. So yeah, 100 years ago, consciousness wasn't where it is today. So of course this is going to flow and change. And he encourages creativity grounded in respect. So I really love that about him as well. And, I tried to find more about him on the internet and I couldn't really. He's kind of in the background. I feel like he's kind of working underground in a way. I don't know. It was just kind of really hard to find because I was I would love to talk to him, but yeah, and I believe he started his own Reiki as well. I think it's called Rainbow Reiki, and I tried to find a little more about that, but I didn't spend a ton of time diving deep into it. But yeah, it's definitely worth a read. Pardon? Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard of that.
No.
Yeah. Huh.
No, I haven't.
But yeah, if you want to look him up, he created the international what was it? ICRT. So I can't remember what that stands for, but anyways, it's a Reiki association online if you want to look it up and see if that's something you want to join. Or I might join that international Reiki association and just go on there and then keep up to date with other Reiki practitioners. I think that's what I'm going to be called to do here. So kind of shift into something a little bit that I find more modern and up to date personally.
Yes, that's right. And when you went through this experience, we didn't know there was all these other Reiki associations. I had no idea. I just thought it was the Canadian one and that was the be all end all, but there is a lot out there.
Well, and I thought that I'm sure there's an American Reiki Association and United Kingdom Reiki Association, but there's not. This isn't a government agency here in Canada. It's a association that somebody just like Christy and I started, and they called it the Canadian Reiki Association. So it's no different than William Lee Rand starting his or the other one being started. It's all kind of the same here. So I'm just going to choose to pick a different one. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. See, it's just showing that our views, our beliefs change, and that's okay. And it's okay to, close a chapter on something and then walk into something else. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
One more thing I wanted to mention about Walter was, remember I sent you the cold sensations in his book? Because we
Oh,
had,
yeah.
yeah, we had in our Reiki circle somebody ask us about feeling ice cold, like your hands are really cold. And the next day I opened his book and I saw this paragraph and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, where were you last night? I needed this information. But, it's kind of interesting, like what Amanda and we shared our feelings on it did kind of align with what he was saying as well. So I paraphrased it because I don't want to get in trouble with any copywritten information. I didn't want to read straight from the book, but he says that cold sensations during Reiki are often understood as areas where energy has been stagnant or disconnected for a long time. And these places may feel withdrawn from the natural flow of vitality and can require more time, presence, and gentle attention. So sometimes working with these areas brings up emotional material, unresolved pain, or memories that have been held deep in the body. So supporting the whole system rather than focusing only on one spot can be helpful, as these patterns tend to release gradually. So when the stagnation clears, it can open the door to meaningful inner growth. So I just really love his view on the coldness, and that really rang true to me. Did you feel that way as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I was actually just talking to a student last night or yesterday who's also experiencing a lot of like hot and cold sensations in her hands. And I did kind of tell her, well, just because something means something to me, how I interpret it, you might be interpreting it in a different way.
Yeah.
Like it might mean something different for you. But I feel like that's pretty spot on with what we were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a general rule of thumb is that cold sensation is this. But of course, if you have a different feeling, go with that, right? Yeah, that's always
Hmm.
important. And he did go into the heat sensation as well, because I've heard more about heat in the hands than coldness. So I wanted to share this as well. So he says feeling warmth or heat in the hands during Reiki is often seen as a sign that the energy is being welcomed where it's needed. This sensation can range from gentle warmth to a much stronger heat, though it usually doesn't feel uncomfortable. This can happen when the body or system is receptive and ready to receive support. When heat sensations are widespread, there's often no need to direct energy intentionally. The flow naturally moves toward the areas that need it most. And in these cases, the process tends to unfold smoothly without much resistance. So it's another way to trust the intelligence of the Reiki energy. Like, say I'm over the heart and it's getting really hot. It's like, well, maybe this energy is flowing through the other chakras and down to their feet, but I don't need to move my hands. It's just doing its own thing. I feel like just trusting that energy flow and, not being so rigid with the hand positions and just knowing that your sensations are real and those are felt real sensations, and trusting the flow, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
And also going back to that same session yesterday when me and my student, we were going through a live, she brought a friend to practice on, and we were going through a session together. And we were over the stomach, the solar plexus, and there was a lot of heat like that. And I said to her, when I feel a lot of heat like that, that means the body is needing the energy there. So it is pulling in, right? Because our clients, they pull in the amount of energy that they need into their body. We're holding the space for it. So if the body is sucking in that energy, it's almost like it gets really hot for me. And there's even been times where I've done sessions where I'm like, ooh, I think I need to have a cold shower after this, because there's been so much energy flowing because they've just needed a lot. And I told my client this, or my student, and I said, we need to leave our hands here almost till the fever breaks. So let it
Ah.
suck in as much as it can till all of a sudden everything kind of gives and it breaks, and then you're like, there we go. But don't cut off that flow by moving. Even though you've made feel like you've been there for a long time, one, it probably hasn't been that long, but you need to just let that Reiki continue to flow into that area because it needs it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, don't just sit with that sensation, especially if it's that strong of a pull, like a
Oh,
cold sensation or a hot sensation.
yeah.
Definitely listen to that. And I love that, just sitting with it and waiting for the fever to break. That's so good. I feel like people are going to remember that in their mind now because, yeah, when that fever breaks, then we're good, right? The fever did its
Yeah.
job. It fought the virus. And yeah, yep, good.
Yeah, that was so not me. That was definitely spirit
That's
channeling
weird.
that message to my
Don't
student.
want to
I
take
also
credit for
love
that
that.
one.
I was like, hey, that is good.
That's so good. Yeah, I really love that. I think that's gonna sit with me too when I feel that heat.
Hmm. Good. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on with them,
I
with your
feel
authors or
like
books?
um I feel like that is complete with the authors. But there was one thing I did want to touch on that I feel like is gonna wrap all of this up. And did you have anything else to share?
No, no.
Okay.
So what do you got?
Okay, so when I was doing my deep dive, so with astrology, if anybody's been following astrology, you know we're moving out of the Piscean or age. Sorry, Piscean no, oh my god, I can't say Piscean age, and we're moving into the Aquarian age. And I know there's a lot of different views on this, when it's supposed to happen and yada yada. And I'm not a professional astrologer at all. I like reading about it and just kind of taking it with a grain of salt, right? But what I found was, with the Aquarian age, we're moving away from guru based hierarchies and we're moving toward more inner authority. So it's less about giving your power to a teacher and more learning about how to listen to yourself. So of course, teachers, Reiki masters still matter, but the role becomes more of like guiding, mirroring, supporting, and discernment rather than like an authority, like I know more than you and you need to listen to me and this is how it is. So I really love this shift. And like one of my teachers in something that I'm learning, she really has emphasized this, that I am learning from you and you're learning from me. And when I'm mirroring things to you, you're mirroring things back to me. It's like there's no teacher and student anymore. It's like we're all learning together. And I really love that approach. It's like, because it kind of breaks down the hierarchy. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in, the Reiki master and the practitioner and see if anything shifts when we move through this Aquarian age energy. I don't know. Have you ever thought about any of that, Amanda?
No, I haven't really, actually. But it will be interesting because I feel like there is a lot of big shifts happening in astrology this year, right? Entering the year of the horse, all those things. So it will be interesting to see if anything shifts and evolves within me. And especially because I'm going to have another baby. So I know people can have experiences, one like while they're pregnant and then after birth too. So there could be a lot of factors for me, I guess, in that
Yeah.
case too, that I would have to play into.
Yes, and yeah, the Aquarian age, it's not like we flip the page and we're in the Aquarian age. It's like it happens, evolves over time, but it's just something interesting that I'm going to have in the back of my mind to watch because there is a lot of gatekeeping. I've heard that word so much lately, but I feel like that is kind of coming to the surface where people are like, I know everything. You need to come and pay me to teach you what I know. And it's just like, I feel like that needs to evolve and change, that you can't say that a teacher doesn't grow and learn from their students as well. I fully believe they do. So yeah, I
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I love that approach. Yeah. And then that's how you change and do things. Cause if you bring something to your Reiki master, hey, this happened. And then the Reiki master is like, oh shit, I've never heard of that before. And then they do their research and they learn about it. And then maybe it'll come up again. And it's like, that's how we expand and share our knowledge within the community. So yeah, I really love that.
That's probably one of my favorite things actually about teaching is that. is hearing and learning from my students as well in that way and hearing what's happening with them.
Yes.
Like, gosh, that's neat. Or really, I just am
Yeah.
so interested.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Just like me and Christy talking. It's like, oh my. Yeah.
Yeah. Just when you think you've heard it all and then something weird comes up and then you learn from it. And yeah, it's just, yeah, really fascinating. But yeah, I know you want to touch on, being pregnant and your Reiki experience, because there's other people out there that I feel that would resonate with your experience or want to learn from it. So yeah, what's been going on during your sessions?
Yeah. It's so funny. So I did Reiki, of course, when I was pregnant with Bo. And that was always really interesting because I would like rub my belly a lot during a session, or I just felt like I don't even really know how to describe it. It's different this time around. And of course, every pregnancy is different in its own ways. But this pregnancy, especially, I can feel my baby moving constantly. And it's they say it's because of where my placenta is located. So if it's more like down at the bottom, kind of out of the way, you'll feel more of those kicks and movements from the baby because there's not that padding kind of in front. So that makes sense. And then when I'm doing Reiki, I find, because people ask me, so I am 33 weeks now. I'm well into the 8th month of pregnancy. And people ask me like, oh, like, are you going to keep doing Reiki all the way up until you're due? And I said, yeah, because Reiki has been probably the best thing for me while I've been pregnant, right? Because as a practitioner, we're receiving Reiki as we give Reiki. So one, it actually does a lot of good for me, especially if I'm feeling tired or I'm having a day, right? My hormones are all over the place. So when I give that, a lot of the time I actually just feel better after, almost like a high. Like I've been kind of cleaned out as well, which is really good. And then two, there's something about like having like that extra person inside of you, almost like that double spirit kind of thing going on. I can't say that I have found that my sessions have been like, like there hasn't been any like crazy moments. I think it's just me personally developing as I go. But there is a lot of the times too where like the baby will get really active. I think it likes the energy as well. And then there will be, of course, times like this too. I'm rubbing my belly, or I almost feel like me and the baby are tuning in, which sounds really funny, but it kind of feels like we are giving the session sometimes, which I also really like. But it's just a good way, right? Because I'm grounding every session and putting up protection around us. So I just feel like these are more conscious things that I'm doing that maybe I wouldn't do if I wasn't practicing Reiki every day or giving sessions several times a week. So I really like it. So, I mean, if anyone's kind of wondering how that's going to go for them, I mean, you might have your own experience. Of course, I'd love to hear about it. And then, of course, we'll see what happens like after I deliver. Because your friend Haley had a very opening experience after she had her baby, didn't she, Christy? Haley, do you remember from, I can't remember her last name, from the UK?
Oh, okay. Yes.
I thought she had a moment where she was in the hospital after, and then all of a sudden she started seeing all these spirits come in and out of her room.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I totally drew a blank there. Yes. Yeah, she's from New Zealand, I believe. But yes. Yeah, it was always a weird time zone. But yeah, that's when her mediumship abilities opened up. She's seen all the spirits in the hospital that have passed on, and they started talking to her, and she was like, what is going on? So yeah, I feel like, the birth is opening of a portal, and something's going to shift. Something's going to change when that soul comes in. And, maybe it's subtle, or maybe it's like something crazy like that. I believe it could even go back to like a soul contract, or why is this soul coming to be part of you in this lifetime? Like, are they here to awaken things within you? And I feel like the kids come to teach you. I'm the mom and you're the kid, but I feel like in a way that can be reversed, and they help you heal a lot of things in different ways. Like, when you're teaching them through their different stages of life, you're also, I feel like, healing those different stages of your life and giving voice to things maybe that you've gone through. And this is just a feeling. I'm not a mom. I haven't gone through that experience. It's just something that I have seen within my own family, my niece and nephew, and what they're bringing to their parents and healing, and just things that I have noticed. So it's not like I've done this myself. It's just something that I have witnessed, and I have a feeling about it as well. But
No, you're right. Our son has done so much healing for my spouse and for me too, but just the father-son relationship aspect that needed healing for him, that he's getting too from our son Bo. So 100%.
yeah.
And I should also put this out there. So like I'm due at the end of February, and then I will be taking a break.
Yes.
But I will still be answering like my Instagram, or if people send me emails about questions, like I'm going to have, like, I still want to be a part of things on this front. So I'm not going to be turning everything off. But for giving sessions or things like that, I'm going to kind of figure out a way to do them kind of when I have time to, and still connect in with clients. But yeah, there'll definitely be a little bit of a shift period that I'll have to take a few moments out here to figure things out.
Yes.
And what that looks like for me.
Oh, of course.
But,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. So just if you are interested in like learning Reiki or having a session, do not delay. You have about a month and a half till you can have my undivided attention. Granted that everything goes right to the end of February. So
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. And was there anything else, Krista, you wanted to talk about today, or should we get into our card pull?
Yeah, I think that was it. I feel like we did touch on some good topics here, and yeah, I feel like that was a good conversation. So hopefully you got something out of the conversation as well when you're listening to this, or if you have any views you want to share with us, please send us a message on our Instagram. But all right, yeah, I'll get into the card pull here. So I only had 2 decks to choose from because I'm not at home today, but yeah, I actually don't mind this deck. I haven't used it in a while. It's from Kyle Gray, the Angel Guide. And yeah, the first card is miracles. Expect miracles. And there's this angel open with her hands open. And the feeling that I got from this is like hitting that glass ceiling and just, putting yourself in that box and not expecting miracles. So when I talk about miracles, it's not like, like somebody goes and heals and now they can walk, like not that kind of a miracle. Like, of course, that's amazing, but the small miracles in everyday life. So, when you think about somebody and then you haven't talked to them in 10 years and then all of a sudden they text you and you rekindle that friendship, or you have a conversation that, that was needed to have like 5 years ago. And then all of a sudden these little things come through, or, you've been waiting to hear from a loved one in spirit. You've been waiting for a year and all of a sudden you get a clear message from them. So it's like those little miracles that happen that we don't give credit for. And it's funny because like the spirit team is coming forward and they're saying that when these things happen, please acknowledge them and please thank us for the work that we do on the other side. And that's not coming from an ego place of spirit, but it's just that acknowledgement and thanking them for the work that they do, because they are working very tirelessly on the other side, but that is the job that they have been assigned to. So it's not like saying like, you must thank me. Like it's nothing like that, right? Because everything is all unconditional love. It's just thanking and acknowledging the work that they do, helping us through our lives. And, I feel like a lot of time it's very subtle and very much in the background. Like, when you go to a play and the lighting is happening and the music, but nobody really acknowledges that person that's in charge of it, but it does happen. And you need the lighting and the music for the show to go on. So just the little background helpers just want a little thank you. And that the next card is the signs and reminders. And that leads into what I was just saying, that, when these signs and reminders come from spirit, it's no accident. And I know when sometimes I'm like, well, that was weird. And then we brush it off. It's like just sitting with it and acknowledging it and being like, maybe that was my dad. Maybe that was my grandma when I smelt roses in the kitchen the day after her anniversary of her death. Like just, really being what's the word? Like not rigid about these signs and reminders that come through, but being open to them and not dissecting them to death. But just, I feel like when an intuitive message comes through, it comes through with love and without question and without anxiety. So just sit with that and see how that feels if you have been receiving any signs or reminders. And then also the last card here, which makes sense, is surrender. So when we do expect miracles and we do ask for these signs, it is very important that you surrender, because Spirit is showing me them driving the car to get this sign and reminder to you. But when you don't surrender, it's like you're taking the wheel and you're taking charge. And we don't know how this is all going to line up in the background. Like, it's all these chess pieces that have the intelligence to move. We don't know about that on the other side. That is for them to know and for them to do. So surrender to whatever you have asked for. But then pay attention. So it's like when you're driving down the road, it's like you are focused on the road, but you're not focused on absolutely everything around you, because that's impossible. So it's just focus on where you're going and just trust that things will fall into place and things will come through as they need to. And sometimes silence is the best medicine. Sometimes silence is what you need as well. So don't feel like your guides are ignoring you, shutting things down. When you do receive silence, silence is sometimes the gift that is needed in that moment. They want you to turn inside and listen to your heart, right? We're moving into that age where we are becoming the inner authority and we aren't giving our power away to anybody else. So we need to come back inside, listen to our heart, and sit in that silence. Because when I receive my best messages, it's when I do the dishes. It's because I don't have distractions from TV, from my phone. It's just me with my hands in the water. And that is when I receive the best messages. So just be mindful of distraction as well. So yeah, I feel like the guides kind of came through with, like a little 101 on connection and hearing reminders. And yeah, okay. Yeah, that feels complete.
And done.
Yes.
No, that was really good too, because there's going to be a moment when I go on maternity leave and me taking kind of like the leap of faith and willing to surrender and let myself be guided. I'm like, I have such a nervousness about it too, that I need to have the trust there. And it's just like, you know what, just let go and let myself be guided, and then take the guidance when it actually comes up.
Yes.
Right. And acknowledge it too. I think that is so important with anything, because then we receive more when we acknowledge and we say thank you. I feel like it's like a reward.
Yes. Yes. They really, really love that acknowledgement. I feel like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody helped you out, gave you directions on the side of the road, are you just going to be like, okay, cool, and walk away? It's like, no, I'm going to be like, thank you for the help, right? So it's just because they're in spirit form doesn't mean that we should, kind of take advantage of them and what they're doing for us. It's just a little thank you is always nice.
It actually reminds me of, when you're in traffic and you let somebody in and then you're like, okay, here comes my courtesy wave.
Yeah.
And then they don't give you one. You're like,
oh, how dare they? Last time I let anybody in. Right?
You're just like, oh, I've been wronged. Yep. I know. It's the same thing. It's like, give them the damn courtecie wave. Thank you.
I always do. Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Got to. Yeah. So same thing.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, okay, you guys, hit up our Reiki circle on the 18th. We're doing it in the morning so people from different time zones can hopefully join us. So that's at 10:30 in the morning, CST. We have our Living the Reiki Life on Instagram, of course. Give us a follow there and jump into our conversation. And my page is Reiki with Manda, if you want to book or see what our offerings are there.
Yep. And you can find me at The Birch Soul on Instagram. And I just wanted to share that I have paused my Akashic readings right at this moment. So I will share any updates that come through. But right now they are paused. But you can still come and chat with me and check things out. And, I haven't posted much. I'm still in hibernation mode over here. I'm waiting for that push. But, I'm just, following the flow here, surrendering. Yep. Not forcing.
You're still doing Reiki.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. We will see you next time.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
1, 2,